What unfolds when relatives marry within the same family circle? When the same people keep joining through blood ties for many years? When children grow up apart from the outside world and later become more than siblings? When a baby arrives through a mother who once entered the world from the man who later fathered her child? These stories do not rise from faraway lands or ancient castles. They come from towns and neighborhoods scattered across modern America. In different parts of West Virginia, areas of Texas, plains of the Dakotas, and even hidden corners of major cities, some women carry permanent reminders of close family breeding, not because of decision, but because of birth. Some arrived with features that genes could not keep hidden. Others never formed words. A few received no names from those who delivered them. This story uncovers each of their lives. These are not folk tales or whispers from back alleys. Every account here has proof, found through testing, reports, or quiet records once sealed. Each woman grew up inside a bloodline too tangled for nature to correct. Maybe you have heard about royal families where relatives wed each other. Perhaps television dramas have shown something similar. But what if the real stories lie closer, involving women born and raised in the United States? Some still live. Others passed without ceremony. Each tale shaped by unions between cousins, siblings, even parents, and their own offspring. This is not for blame. This is truth. Here are 5 lives shaped by the hands of shared ancestry. Gracie Whitaker came into the world during the early 1920s. She lived in a quiet place named Odd, located in the deep forests of West Virginia, a name strangely fitting for her background. Her parents were not only relatives, they were first cousins. Their fathers had once been identical brothers. That meant Gracie began life carrying duplicated strands of the same blood. Later, she married someone named John Emery Whitaker, her double cousin. He shared almost the same genetic closeness as a brother. Their community stood apart from city ways. People lived far from one another. Roads twisted through hills, and strangers almost never arrived. In such places, weddings among cousins were normal. Nobody questioned it. Gracie and John raised 15 children. Many of them never learned how to form a sentence. Several could not read letters or hold pencils properly. Some had uneven faces, eyes that pointed in different directions, or limbs that moved without balance. At least one child only made sounds instead of words. Neighbors whispered behind doors. They called the family strange, but no one stepped forward. Back then, few doctors reached such far areas. Hospitals were rare. No health expert ever studied their family. As the children grew older, the signs became clear. Years of close mixing had created strong effects on their bodies and Heidi's minds. Gracie never traveled far. She remained in the same home all her life, surrounded by her descendants, many unable to live without help. She never gave interviews. Nobody truly knew what she believed or feared. But her life became the center of one of the strongest examples of family inbreeding recorded in American history. Today, some of her bloodline still lives on the same land. Most Americans do not know her name. Yet Gracie Whitaker lives on through voices that never formed and eyes that speak only silence. Larini did not simply come from the Whitaker name. She came deeper into its legacy. Her mother and father, Gracie and John Emery, were already double cousins. This meant Lorene carried a copy of the same genes from nearly every side. She arrived sometime during the 1940s. Inside the very room her mother once cried her first cry. From early days, Lorene struggled. Words never left her mouth. Her eyes followed nothing around her. Her arms and legs lacked power. Movements stayed clumsy. She never stepped inside proper classrooms. Reading never began. She almost never walked beyond the family boundary. Those few who lived nearby called her simple. But the truth went deeper. Larini was not just behind in learning. Her mind had never developed completely. The repeated pattern of same blood unions had created a mind that could not grow in the usual way. Years later, when scientists tested living relatives, their worst guess became fact. The family had passed the point where nature could fix itself. Lorene never joined another home. She never earned a wage. Her hours were filled only by family, most of whom shared her difficulties. Her surroundings formed a loop with no exit. No medical paper gave her a name. No agency stepped inside to study or support her. The middle lands of Appalachia, during that time, stayed away from modern help. The world forgot many families like hers. When Larini left this world, maybe in her 40s or 50s, no notice appeared in any paper. No funeral was written. No public. Words were spoken. She faded quietly, like many others in her bloodline. But her story still shows what happens when generations keep repeating themselves. Rita came into life around the year 2010, not inside a clean hospital bed, but inside a hidden chamber within a house too quiet for comfort. Her mother was young, barely a grown woman. Her father was also the man who once raised that same mother. Nobody realized the truth at first. Rita was born too soon. Her chest moved with effort. Her bones looked slightly uneven. Doctors noticed strange signs, but answers took time. When bruises began to appear without reason, a full set of tests followed. What they found changed everything. Rita's parents were not strangers. They were a father and his own daughter. The results showed a pattern of identical DNA, so strong it could only appear through direct incest. This was not about cousins. This was not about distant links. This was one generation turning inward on itself. As Rita grew, the damage became clearer. She made no words. Her legs could not support her weight. Machines helped her heart. Her lips had gaps. Later, water collected in her brain. A tube had to be placed to relieve the swelling. By age 4, both her mother and her father had been sent to prison. The young mother tried to call it love, but authorities saw something else, an act of harm passed on to another life. Rita entered state care. She moved to a long-term center in Houston. Today, she remains within those walls. She still cannot talk. Her arms and legs struggle to follow her mind. Her needs must be met every hour. She is a living picture of what happens when biology breaks its own boundaries. This is not a tale from long ago. This is not warring from old stories. This is now. And it continues behind doors nobody opens. Maria arrived during the middle of the 1970s. Her birth happened inside a special place, a Hutterite colony located deep within South Dakota. These communities believe in tradition, faith, and marrying within their group. Her parents were second cousins, not rare for their belief system. The community saw such unions not as odd, but as part of their path. From birth, Maria showed differences. Her chin sloped backward. Her ears bent strangely. There was a split inside the roof of her mouth. Later, she was diagnosed with a condition that affects the bones of the face. Though this can happen to anyone, chances grow in closed gene pools. However, Maria's thoughts remained strong. She could learn. She could think clearly. Though hearing remained weak, her brain was not touched. Maria studied, learned signs, and attended the small classes inside her village. People there helped her, not mocked her. She became known for her effort, not her struggle. Doctors wrote about her in health journals, not because she was lost, but because she stood as proof that even mild blood closeness can bring risks. Now in her 50s, Maria still lives within the same group. She married someone related through a more distant branch. Her children did not carry her condition. Maria remains a reminder. Her life teaches that not every such union ends in sorrow, but none remain without risk. Her features reflect her roots, but her story reveals that support and care can sometimes rewrite fate. Linda was born during 2011 inside the city of Houston. Her parents were first cousins. Both had moved from the Middle East, where such unions carry honor, not shame. In their tradition, marrying within the family is common. It brings unity, trust, and keeps heritage alive. But genes do not follow tradition. From the beginning, Linda showed difficulties. Her body stayed smaller than normal. She ate poorly. Her face carried unusual lines. As time passed, learning became slower. She rarely spoke. A test revealed that her parents shared large stretches of the same DNA. This led to 2 copies of harmful genetic traits being passed forward. Linda had only 1 kidney. Seizures shook her body. Her head grew slower than it should. She could not stay on pace with others her age. By the time she turned 6, she joined a classroom made for children who needed extra support. Her parents remained loving, but exhausted. They told doctors that no one ever warned them. To them, their union was normal, even holy. They saw their daughter's pain as fate. Linda is now 14. She speaks a little. She reads a few words. Her thinking remains slower than average. She stays at home, watched closely. Her case is not unique. As science reaches deeper places, similar stories are being discovered, not only in foreign places, but inside neighborhoods nearby. Her experience is not about shame. It is about what happens when custom and biology follow different roads, and a child stands at the crossroads. Each woman in these stories came from places where silence wrapped around homes. They never asked for the lives they received. They carry stories in their bodies that others tried to forget. But remembering their names means remembering the cost of closed bloodlines, not to point fingers, not to judge, but to see clearly what happens when the same roots keep planting themselves again and again.